Hello, it's Branden Scott. With me, the head scout of your Sudbury Wolves, Mike Taylor. Mike, how have you been since the draft?
Hey, Brandon, I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Now, before we dive into some of our selections on the draft day, I want to ask you, it's a little bit of a different setup this year compared to the past couple of years due to self-isolation. What was the draft war room like?
It was a little bit different. Um, not being around the guys and having quiet conversation, discussing our picks, in order, kind of thing. But we were able to, because of the current situation, we were able to meet more in the evenings. So we'd go online and speak to one another, and I felt that we were really prepared for the priority selection last Saturday.
hmm And how happy are you with our draft class?
I'm extremely pleased with our draft class. We were able to address a number of wants and needs in our prospect pool, and we're extremely excited for the future of the Wolves.
Uh, Now, before I get you to dive in on our first five picks, I want to ask you about some of our late round picks in this draft. Is there any guys that you're just thrilled that we got?
Oh, for sure. There's a few young players here. One is Devin Morrow. He's a highly skilled forward from the Sioux. A little bit on the undersize in terms of his physical stature, but brings a lot of skill, compete, and some offensive tools to his game. So we're very excited to see how he progresses in his development. Another player is a goaltender from Shattuck St. Mary's, Marino Ramirez. We've kind of followed his development over the last couple of years. Our goaltending advisor and scout, Mike Parson, has had a relationship with Garrett Sparks, who, as it turned out, trains with this young man in the off season. So we've maintained contact with our Chicago area scout as well, and we were extremely excited when Marino became available in the draft, and we were able to select him.
Yeah, there was certainly some strong ties there, as you mentioned, but uh, let's dive right into our first five picks, starting with our first round pick, David Goyette. What can you tell me about him?
David Goya is arguably the best player in the draft in our eyes. He brings everything you want as far as a number one center. He brings a high skill level, compete level, a hockey IQ, and a scoring touch. Um, he's everything that we were looking for. We wanted to continue to address the three main needs in our team, and that's scoring, skill, and compete level. And we feel David will be one of our top players moving forward.
And now moving to our second round pick, Coach Adelic. A lot of people pegged him as a first round pick in this draft, but we got him with our 28th pick in this draft. What can you tell me about him?
Kocha definitely is a first round talent. He brings a high compete level, a high motor, and every game he brings the same energy as well as his skill level. We were extremely excited with the fact that he was able to be available at the number 28 position. So we're excited for him to be in our lineup as well. Combine him with some of our returning players like Landon McCallum, Chase Stillman, and Ethan Larman. And we're excited to have him as part of the Wolves organization.
Now, we didn't have a pick in the third round, but in the fourth round, we got another guy, a very skilled guy from what I've read online in Evan Kanyan. He's from the Pittsburgh Penguins Elite 15. What can you tell me about him?
Evan is one of the top scorers in the U.S. Brings a compete level once again, a level of grit, and a scoring touch. So we're losing a number of players up front through graduation, and Evan will be able to, when given the opportunity, he has a great shot in making our hockey club and contributing on the offensive end in the future.
Our next pick, we took a defenseman, Nolan Collins from the Whitby Wildcats. What can you tell me about this young man?
Nolan is an outstanding two-way defenseman that has all the tools. He's big, he's mobile, excellent skill set, and processes the game well, plays a very physical game. So he's a kid that we see maybe a year away in terms of his development. And we're looking forward to having him in our lineup in the future.
And then to round out our top 5 picks of the draft, we selected a goaltender from Kingston, Ethan Morrow. What can you tell me about this goaltender?
Ethan is one of the best goaltenders in our eyes in the draft. Outstanding athleticism, quick feet, and a really high compete level. He stole a number of games for his Kingston team during the year, and we're excited to add him to our goaltending prospect pool.
We fast forward after the U18 draft. Mike, what can you tell me about our first round pick in that draft, Jack Parker? What can you tell me about him?
So Jack, he played in Nepean last year for our area scout in Ottawa, Jared DeFazio. So we had some intel on Jack, and Jared really liked him. And during the year, he had a great year for Nepean. He's a kid that physically is just maturing now. Like he's almost, I guess, 6'4", and only about 160, 170 pounds. So we liked his physical tools in terms of his stature, as well as his skill level, his ability to see the ice, and he can score as well. So we see a high ceiling for Jack, and we look forward to having him in our lineup at some point.
And then for our next 2 picks, we selected them both from our Brockville Braves team. What can you tell me about the goaltender Gavin McCarthy?
So Gavin, he's about 5'9", athletic goaltender, really competes and battles on pucks. And we just wanted to add to our depth as far as our goaltending prospects are concerned. So we liked his battle, and we liked the compete level that he brought.
Mm-hmm. And then for our last pick, Owen Hardy, what's the book on him?
So Owen, he's a late birth date. We like, the fact that he put up pretty good numbers this year in the Ottawa League, and that's a pretty good sign as far as projecting to the future. And we like, his skill level, the way he played the game, the pace that he played at. And he's actually only played, from what I hear, he's only played at a high level since midget. So we see a high ceiling for Owen as well moving forward.
Thank you again for joining me, Mike Taylor, the head scout of the Sudbury Wolves.